So there's apparently a new server or a new version that people can play of World of Warcraft that is before the alpha. It is the original. Let's take a look at it. Here we go.
How is it going, fellow gamers? Following the reaction to my video on the 0.5.3
I'm one of the gamers.
Oh my god, Asmongold reacted to my video.
What a guy.
I decided I would go ahead and do a follow-up, this time doing a deeper dive into the quirks of the old systems and exploring the cool places
Imagine
of the 0.5.3 client, and seeing how much has changed from December 11th of 2003 to November 23rd of 2004. I hope you boys enjoy. Very quick disclaimer, even after well over 20 hours of exploring, I can guarantee you I have not yet seen everything there is to see here on the 0.5.3 beta.
I love how they can make houses like this in the beta of the game, but somehow even in Dragonflight, this is impossible. Well, there's no way we could do this. Oh, really?
Even in the slightest. If you have any interest in getting on the 0.5.3 beta and exploring it for yourself, I will have a link to the alpha project in the description, as well as a link to their Discord. Now, let's get into the first thing I wanted to show you guys, with that being the Spirit Revivers. With Deathwalking not being in working order yet on the 0.5.3 client, you are required to bind yourself to a Spirit Healer. This means that if I was to set my Reviver in Red Ridge while leveling, then I died in Duskwood, I would be revived in Red Ridge. This feature—
Holy shit. So there were, wow. Dude, that would have been fucking brutal. That's interesting, yeah. Oh my god.
Feature was only in the game because they did not yet get the chance to work on Deathwalking. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys was the horse trainer for the humans being much closer here on 0.5.3, which may have you guys wondering, what's up with the Eastvale logging camp? What's over there? Well, the logging camp really did not change all that much aside from the inclusion of a spider trainer, who is an important NPC for hunters here on 0.5.3, as in order to use a specific species of pet, you needed to seek out a trainer for that pet. This feature made hunters roam the open world searching for pet trainers, giving players—
I wonder if they're gonna ever do this in like a Season of Mastery or something like that. That's kind of cool. Like, it's annoying at the same time, but it is kind of cool as like a, this is one thing that your class can do. Yeah, there
more
are
of a reason to explore the open world and come across some pretty cool sights along the way. Also, all species of pet here on 0.5.3 have completely different abilities than one another, making each pet completely unique. Wow. On the topic of new systems, the talent system here on 0.5.3 is entirely different from how you know it, as I teased in my first video. As I mentioned—
Holy shit, look at this. Critical, chance to get a critical with one-handed swords by 6%, and it costs 25 talent points. Holy shit, man.
The talents are very unspecific compared to what was released.
Attack rating with one-handed swords by 6.
1.1, with every class in the game having access to the same talents, with the talent system having like 5 categories. Attribution enhancement with things such as agility, stamina, and strength increases, followed by defensive talents with things such as dodge, block, health regeneration, and armor value enhancers, followed by then magic talents, which only really give you protection from certain schools of magic.
Yeah, look at that. You even had Holy Resist inside of the original game. Isn't that nuts? This seems really hardcore. Yeah, I know.
Magic resistance to be a
specific. Yeah, it's like hunter pet abilities.
The fourth category we have is Slayer talents, which provide for you talents which aid you in killing and tracking certain types of mobs such as giants, dragons, beasts, elementals, and much, much more. Lastly, we have weapon talents, which are quite basic.
So you would have different types of specializations for killing different mobs. Thank God that didn't go live. Oh, it would have been awful.
In their application, just being general crit increases and damage bonuses for certain weapon types. And while we're on the topic of new things, I might as well mention that each class in the game has new abilities to play around with while leveling, or should I say old, some more than others, making the leveling experience extremely refreshing in comparison to what I'm used to.
What's this here? Wait, let me see this. Shadow Word Fumble. A word of darkness that reduces a target's chance to hit by 75%. Holy shit. That's really good.
Or what you guys are used to even. Mages even have an invisibility spell here on 0.5.3, making them like a rogue? I don't even know what their purpose would have been here. But now that we got some of the new systems out of the way, or really old systems, I should say, allow for me to really start showing you guys some cool spots here on the Alpha.
Oh my god, okay.
Starting with first, Booty Bay. The biggest changes to this area I'm sure you guys can visibly see now, with that being how the boat is docked, as well as the drastically increased defenses, Booty Bay being quite heavily armed here on 0.5.
Holy shit.
Following Booty Bay, I wanted to show you guys how Gurabashi Arena looked here on Alpha.
This looks about the same.
Not much has changed here aside from some textures and the statues on the outside of the arena. Unfortunately for me, there were no poor helpless noobs.
Oh, wow, look at that. Are these in the original game? I don't think that they are. Maybe there were gates that would ever come out.
Slaughter, so I ended up moving on. The next thing I wanted to show you guys was Zogura up here on 0.5.3, which uses the Dark Portal for its entrance, as this is the asset they use for many incomplete instances.
Yeah,
though
that kind
once
of
entering
makes sense.
Zogura, I was quite disappointed as it is extremely early into development, though it is not
a bridge. It's like, yeah, so like we're basically gonna build it, or like I figure we put a bridge like right there, and like, yeah, let's start with that. Okay.
surprising as they didn't release ZG until patch 1.7. Released September 22nd of 2005, 2 years after this point. And even though I shut it off in the last video, we cannot leave the territory of Alpha Stranglethorn Vale without first showing off again Jogoro Island's untextured Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
Next, I wanted to show you guys Dark Shore since there's a little bit that changed here. Not much really, to be honest with you. Primarily just a Stable Master added for mount training in the left-hand corner.
Sure,
next place I wanted to show you guys was Red Ridge, but
it's so cool to me. I think I said this the first time I saw a video of this area, of this like version of the game. It's so cool to like look at the game and see things that are still in the game in Dragonflight. It's like this is an asset that was made in 2001 and it is still in the game.
Not for the reason you may be assuming. This town has not changed at all in the past 20 years of active development.
Shit.
Right down to belly grub. This to me is honestly pretty crazy, but nonetheless, our next stop is going to be Sentinel Hill in Westfall, a location which is quite barren compared.
Isn't it crazy? Like, yeah, it's the portals. The portals have been there forever.
Comparison to even its vanilla counterpart, which was released only 11 months after 0.5.3, and yes, Moonbrook is exactly the same. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Following Sentinel Hill, I wanted to show you guys some of the differences in Stormwind, with the first of which being the location next to the stockades that was completely redone. Also, though player housing is in the game, as you can see on my screen,
it sure is.
Only really being an island with some placeholder houses, the player housing instance is not there. The next interesting thing I wanted to show you guys was BRD on 0.5.3, where I guessed what is done of BRD, pretty much only having a terrace looking over the burning steps completed at this point in time.
Wow.
Next, I wanted to show you guys...
Dude, the Iron... Like, there's a part of me, I kind of like the Iron Forge in like, the beta more than I like what ended up coming out. Like, with all the little fucking bridges, because it reminds me of, like, Moria in Lord of the Rings. This is
Iron
cool.
Forge, but Iron Forge here on 0.5.3 is so massive.
This is
It would take over
nuts.
25 minutes to show you guys all of it.
Oh my god.
Linked in the description will be a video of me touring Iron Forge, seeing how it looked back in 2003. Though I will show you how the old Deep Run tram looked, as well as old Iron Forge, which did serve a function with it.
Holy shit. And I thought this was really cool. I think it was in like BFA or Legion where you finally went into old Iron Forge. I thought that was so cool that Blizzard did that.
Being the throne room to Magni Bronzebeard.
Yep,
the place I wanted to take you guys next.
Which, again, I think is kind of funny how Magni ended up there all along. After 20 years, there he is.
Was the tip of the Eastern Kingdoms, with that being Undercity. Undercity, much like Iron Forge, is so massive in its size, I couldn't possibly show you all of it in one video, though the biggest changes to the Undercity are minor, such as the little tunnel system at the top of Undercity, providing for you some cool sights. I will have a video exploring the Undercity in the description as well for those of you who want a more in-depth look. Following the Undercity, I want to take the chance to show you guys the super dungeon that Scarlet Monastery used to be on 0.5.3. As I am sure many of you know, the World of Warcraft team planned for every single dungeon in vanilla to be the size of the Dead Mines, thinking it would be more interesting for players that way. Which is
kind of true. I mean, to be fair, like, whenever I think back to the greatest dungeons in vanilla WoW, It's like Maradon. Like, I think that original BRD is the best dungeon that Blizzard has ever made. And by the way, I don't even think it's close. It's the best dungeon by a mile.
Where this rendition of the
good.
dungeon comes into play. This, like Ironforge and Undercity, is so
Each of those
massive I was
guys
able to
have
turn it
names,
into its own
apparently.
video, link in the description.
Scarlet
Next place I
Crusade
wanted to show you
Heroes.
guys was Gadget Zan, a completely different site than what you
Sunken
guys
Temple,
are
yeah.
used to seeing upon entering Tanaris. With that, Zul'Farrak has not yet been made an instance, so it is just a part of the open world at this point in time in World of Warcraft's development. And it looks exactly the same, by the way. After
Zul'Farrak was always kind of boring, you know? But, like, damn. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, Sunken Temple, I never figured out Sunken Temple. Like, I never really understood. Like, you go down, you kill, like, these guys, and there's, like, this dude at the bottom, and then there's, like, oh, fuck, there's, like, these dragons that go around, and then there's, like, another guy, and then there's the big dragon, and he's hard. It's a level 55. So it's like, and then, like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's giving me a headache. It's nuts.
Zul'Farrak, I wanted to show you guys Ratchet here on 0.5.3 with it looking entirely different than how it does when the game is released in 1.1, with the dock taking up a ton of space. Next, I wanted to show you guys what Orgrimmar used to look like back in the alpha, with it in all honesty being quite small in comparison to how it is released in 1.1, with the coolest part of this Orgrimmar rendition being the inclusion of the 1v1 arena that was supposed to be in Orgrimmar for the release of Vanilla, way
What the fuck? That's crazy.
in the back. A feature that many private servers, such as Duskhaven for example, have taken advantage of and got working. The next location.
Oh, wasn't that where fucking, like, what's his name? Garrosh Fart Cairn? I think that's why they removed 1v1. Yeah, it was. Holy shit. Well, I'm glad they finally used it. That's such a cool idea. That's awesome.
Location I wanted to take you guys to was Thunder Bluff, with this city also undergoing many changes in the 11 months between the release of 0.5.3 and 1.1. Though no changes are extremely drastic, this city has so many small things to check out. I will also likely need
just
to
like
do a
little
video
bits
on
of things.
just
Yeah,
Thunder
sure.
Bluff in the future. Next, I wanted to show you guys what Darkshore looked like 20 years ago, with it also really not undergoing a ridiculous amount of
Isn't it nuts how the game, this is 20 years ago, and some of the graphics, I think that the WoW graphics still look pretty good. Like, obviously, I mean, it's not Witcher 3, okay? It's not Unreal 5. But I think that they have, like, a certain appeal to them and a certain style to them that really lasts. The trees don't look that great. I give you that.
Up until the release of Cataclysm in about December of 2010, when Deathwing came in and he ransacked this little night elf village like the badass that he is.
I was so hyped.
Anyways, following Darkshore, I wanted to show you guys Darnassus, the only capital city on this version of the game that has not undergone any changes aside from the removal of their
Yeah, because nobody ever went there. Even the devs never went there. Makes sense.
docking system, which is only due to the boats not working here on 0.5.3, needing to speak with a boat master in order to traverse the open world and jump continents. The next two places I wanted to show you guys were removed battlegrounds, one of them being named the Fields of Snow, which was actually turned into Alterac Valley for the release of Vanilla. The other battleground I wanted to show you guys was never implemented into the game, being an absolutely gigantic open battlefield that looks to have been created for 20v20s or 50v50s, though the software limitations for Blizzard in 2003 were definitely too great to implement this into Vanilla WoW. I would show you guys more of this battleground in specific, but it really is just a massive piece of land with a few shelters scattered around. All of the buildings you can find are already in the game in Vanilla WoW. If you've seen them before.
I wish they had more things like that in Vanilla WoW. Like, I do, or like in the game in general, like not just Vanilla WoW, but they had like more large-scale PvP encounters. Because like, I don't think WoW ever really was that great about doing like small-scale PvP, but it was always good with like large-scale, like Alterac Valley. I thought Alterac Valley was awesome. That's my favorite BG.
Nothing special. Following those two battlegrounds, I wanted to show you guys the incomplete version of Karazhan. Since we're on the topic of incomplete things, I suppose I might as well show you this. And then since they started here on 0.5.3, despite not releasing it until January of 2007 with the release of Burning Crusade, it is insane to me that they started this despite not implementing it into the game for another 4.5 years.
Oh my god.
It looks like it needs 4.5 years of development.
Yeah, I would say so. Wow.
Look at this. What the fuck? Also, while on the topic of incomplete raids, Encourage is also here despite it not being released until January of 2006, 3 years after, and exactly 1 year away from the end of Vanilla's life cycle.
Yeah.
AQ is a lot more complete than Karazhan, but it is also very unfinished, such as many things are on the beta, but I thought it was pretty cool, and I also thought it'd be worth showing you guys. Furthermore, the legendary Dwarven Airport above Ironforge is accessible in this version of the game and able to be ran around, which just adds to the list of things that you can do here on the beta, which you cannot on the live version of the game.
I wonder why they took that out. I always thought the airport was really cool.
Dungeons such as RFK and Shadowfang Keep are entirely the same, with every dungeon other than those ones I showed you having minor changes to them, such as stockades missing a wing, like I mentioned in my last video on the project. Wow. Though, lads, I am going to conclude the video here, as this video thus far has taken me over 2 weeks of research and days upon days of editing. Though if you'd like to see more exploring here on 0.5.3, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And also, again, if you have any interest in playing this game for yourself, a link to this project's download and Discord will be
I've got to try this, man.
Special thanks to Yoshi for helping me find these locations, and another special thanks to Grendir for the hard work developing this project into what it is today. I love and I appreciate all of you boys, and I also wanted to mention thank you guys for the massive amount of support I got on my last video on the project. That was overwhelming, and the fact that Asmongold reacted to it was also so shocking. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much. That comes from the bottom of my heart, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Wow. We were just clicking and dragging a house under the board was in the beta? Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, you can't actually have that in the game. That would be nuts. Yeah, there's no way. No voice. I don't know why people get so fixated on the voice of a content creator. It's so weird how, like, there's people in chat that are like, oh my god, his voice, his voice, his voice. Oh my god, he's not talking normal. Like, Jesus, fuck. Like, what is this cringy shit? What are you, 13? Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so weird, man. Oh. Anyway, this is fucking cool. This is really fucking cool. I'm so excited to try this out and see what the actual game looks like. This is so fucking badass. I do hope that Blizzard one day, like, I don't even entirely know. I don't know what exactly it is about Vanilla WoW, but there was something that was so fucking special about it. I don't know, man. Like, it was just... Was it the world? Was it the time? Was it, like, nostalgia? Was it... I don't know. I think probably a lot of different things. You were a kid? I mean, yeah, definitely. But, like, people are still going back and playing, like, classic era now. Isn't that nuts? They're playing classic era. Made by OG old men. Yeah. Angry old men. There you go. That's who made this game. Oh, God. I think it's just nostalgia. The only thing I really enjoy from Vanilla is Lich King and the original skill trees. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's all nostalgia. But, like, damn. There's a lot of people that do feel the same way I do, and I'm sure for you guys that this is really cool to see. And I hope that Blizzard one day can make a Season of Mastery or something like that implement some of these old things, like maybe the old Ironforge or something like that. I think that would be so cool if they did that. I don't know if it'll ever happen. I have a pretty good feeling it won't, but it is so cool to imagine. It's awesome. The world feels very immersive compared to expansions. Yeah, it sure does. And if someone played WoW for the first time, do you think they could get the same feeling with retail? No, retail, it's just like, again, like the games, the way games nowadays work, it's just so much different than the way it used to be. And I don't think you can really try to have that same experience that you had maybe, you know, however many fucking years ago it was. So I don't think it's really that easy, man. They're given the actual reason to play Classic again. Yeah, there you go. Blizzard now is so much different from back then. Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't think hardly anything is the same except for the name, man. Retail players who are really playing hardcore right now are blown away about how good vanilla is. It isn't just nostalgia. Well, I think another reason why so many people are playing vanilla WoW, streamers are, it's because it's getting a lot of viewership. Obviously, anytime that something is going to get viewership, people are going to have a more positive perspective on it. That's just usually how these kinds of things go. There's an audience for it, and it creates a positive feedback loop where you see, and like, look at this, right? I mean, like, the top 4, and, you know, like fucking 4 out of 5, the top streams here are all classic WoW. Yeah, it's not just streamers, though. No, I think so. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people that like playing it. And, I mean, good for them. I think that's cool. Classic needs to be free. Yeah, if they did a season of Mastery where Classic WoW was free, I think a ton of people would go back and start trying to play it again. I think so many people would come back.